Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine. Today we've got an intermediate level lesson for you. If you're interested in buying furniture for your house, you should like this lesson.
Exactly. We are going to talk about a ton of different furniture items that you can get to decorate your house to make it all nice.
So we're going to talk about a lot of vocabulary today. Pay attention while you're listening to some of the pieces of furniture that we talk about. We'll be back in a moment to talk more about them.
How about this floor lamp?
Fine, just get it. We have been shopping for furniture for 5 hours. I'm so tired.
We still need to find an armoire and a dresser.
Fine. I'm going to go home and drop off this nightstand, coffee table, and love seat while you look for the rest of the things.
Great. Pick me up in about an hour, because I think I'll also get a beanbag and a dining set.
While you're at it, can you pick up a nice recliner? I really want one so I can watch TV.
Recliner? In my beautifully decorated living room? I don't think so.
All right, we're back. So now what we're going to do is, since we have so much vocab, we're going to take a look at this language in two parts. So now let's go to language takeaway part 1.
Language takeaway.
Okay, so everyone's heard of a lamp, a light. This is something that you use to read in the dark, for example, to see in the dark. But in this case, we have a floor lamp. Floor lamp. So this is a lamp you put on the floor.
Yes, exactly. So usually this lamp would be a lot taller. It'll maybe be like a meter taller, a meter and a half maybe.
Okay, so for example, in your living room next to your sofa, you might have a very tall floor lamp. This allows you to get more light in the room.
Right. So sometimes, the center light in your living room is not enough. You want maybe more light in the corners. You get a little floor lamp. Okay, so that's the first item. Now that we go to the bedroom, we are getting an armoire.
Okay, an armoire. This is kind of like a wardrobe. It's a piece of furniture we use to keep clothes in, but usually they're hanging clothes.
Okay, so a closet is usually inside a wall, right?
Right. So a closet's a part of your house. It's not furniture.
Right. So an armoire is the same as a closet, but it's not in the house, like in the walls. It's outside. It's a piece of furniture. It's a big box.
Yeah, I could pick it up and move it.
Okay.
Yes. So an armoire is a tall place to keep clothing. Usually you hang your clothes. You hang your shirts and your dresses and your coats.
And moving on, we have a dresser. Now, this seems pretty straightforward. To get dressed, you have a dresser.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, but there is a big difference here between an armoire and a dresser. A dresser is usually drawers. So you keep your sweaters, your shirts, your socks, your underwear in a dresser.
Okay. So an armoire, as you said, usually you hang your shirts or your pants. It's for hanging stuff only. A dresser is you have different drawers where you can put your socks, your boxer shorts, and any other things that you keep.
Exactly.
Okay. Very good. So two very handy words, and that's what makes the difference between a closet. So many people say, oh, well, it's just a closet. Well, a closet's different.
No, a closet is actually part of your house. It's a part of the wall. Maybe it has a door. There's a big difference there.
Okay. So moving on, we have a nightstand that's also usually in the bedroom.
That's right. So I always wondered, why is it called a nightstand and not a day stand? Well, a nightstand, it makes sense. It usually has a lamp on it, a light on it. And so when you're in bed and you want to read, you have a nightstand next to you to put your lamp so you can turn the lamp on. Usually I also keep my books here. So when I'm reading, I put my books down, then I go to sleep. Some people also keep their glasses and their alarm clock on a nightstand.
Okay.
It's a small table that stands next to your bed.
Very good. And our last word for language takeaway part 1, we have a coffee table.
Okay, so with the coffee table, Marco, we're moving back into the living room. And in the living room, you have a sofa, you have some chairs. You need a table. But you don't want a big table. You want a small table or a very short table. This is a coffee table.
It's called a coffee table. I'm not really sure why. I guess because if you're having coffee in the living room, this is where you put the coffee.
That's right. And we even have something called coffee table books. These are big, beautiful books, hardback books that have many pictures that you put on your coffee table to look nice.
It's not for you to read all the time.
Well, I read them, but it's more important to use these books to look nice. Yes.
And this is interesting though, because in many other countries, they're not really called a coffee table. So a direct translation wouldn't really help you in many cases.
No.
Like I know, I think in Chinese it's called a tea table, not a coffee table.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
Or like I know in Spanish it's just called a center table.
Okay. So this is basically the low table you have in your living room next to your sofa, in front of your sofa actually, so you can have tea or coffee and read books.
Or put your feet up while you're watching TV.
Not in my house when I was a kid.
All right, so now why don't we go back, listen to the dialogue again, and we'll be returning a little bit with more vocab.
How about this floor lamp?
Fine, just get it. We have been shopping for furniture for 5 hours. I'm so tired.
We still need to find an armoire and a dresser.
Fine. I'm going to go home and drop off this nightstand, coffee table, and love seat while you look for the rest of the things.
Great. Pick me up in about an hour, because I think I'll also get a beanbag and a dining set.
While you're at it, can you pick up a nice recliner? I really want one so I can watch TV.
Recliner? In my beautifully decorated living room? I don't think so.
All right, we're back. So now let's take a look at language takeaway part 2.
Language takeaway.
Coming up, we have one of my favorite phrases in the English language. I don't know why I like it so much, but it is a great name for a piece of furniture.
A love seat.
Love seat.
Okay.
Okay.
So it sounds very romantic.
It does.
Seat.
Well, think about a sofa. A sofa can be very large. You can have 4 or 5 people on a sofa.
Right.
But a love seat is a small sofa for 2 people.
Okay. So that's what makes the difference, right? It's a sofa, but only 2 people can sit on this.
That's right. So if it's a big sofa, it's not a love seat.
And what about if it's one, because usually sofa sets, you have a love seat, a big one, and you have one, sometimes an individual one. Do you just call that a chair?
Yep. A chair.
A chair. Okay.
Exactly. We'll come to it in a minute. There's a special kind of chair that it might be, but we're not quite there yet. First, we have another kind of chair, which is very special and reminds me a lot of the 1970s.
Right. We have a bean bag, and this is actually a piece of furniture that's still very popular in many places. And it's called a bean bag because it's a huge bag that is filled with beans.
Right, beans or something soft. And when you sit on it, it looks like a ball, but when you sit on it, it can change shape.
Right, it molds to what shape you are.
And usually they're very light. And a lot of times, I hate to say it, a lot of times bachelors' apartments have these.
That's right. It's actually very cheap piece of furniture, and it's comfortable. Sometimes if you're watching TV, you can just sit on your beanbag and watch TV. Even I know some people may, fall asleep on a beanbag as guests.
I've never slept on, well, maybe once, but I don't remember sleeping on a beanbag. I imagine it's quite uncomfortable.
Yeah,
but,
for your back. But moving on, after a beanbag, which is a good and informal piece of furniture, we have a dining set, which is a lot nicer.
Okay, dining set. All right, so a dining set has many pieces. You have a dining room table.
Right.
And you have chairs. So a set is basically a collection of a table and chairs together.
Sometimes I think it will also include some type of piece of furniture that's next to the dining table where you can keep your plates and you can keep your teacups and all that. What's that called?
That's called a buffet. And that's basically, it's like a dresser for your dining room.
Right, exactly.
It's got like drawers and stuff for your plates, your cups, like you said. And it's next to the dining room table. But the dining room set or the dining set is for the dining room. It's the table where you eat dinner.
Okay, very good. And now moving on to that special chair that I am a big fan of. It's very comfortable to sit on, and it's called a recliner.
Recliner. So we have a word here, recline. It means to lie back, to put your head back, to get comfortable. So a recliner is a chair that you can change the shape of to make you lie down flat. So, when you sit down, you're sitting. But what if you want to lie down in a chair? This chair lets you do that.
And it also, from the bottom part where your feet are, a little thing pops up so you can rest your feet on top of this little extension of the chair.
Okay, so it has a built-in footrest.
Footrest, exactly. So it's very comfortable. It's very popular. If you ever watch the series Friends,
Oh, yeah.
they have the recliners. It's very comfortable to watch sports, for example. You have your beer.
Joey has his recliner.
Right.
And remember when Joey and Chandler live together, they have the two recliners in front of the TV. Those chairs are recliners, and they're very, very popular.
Actually, they're, I think in the United States, they're very commonly known by the brand Lazy Boy.
That's right. There's a brand. It's not a kind of furniture, but it's the name of the brand. It's Lazy Boy, and they're very, very famous. You're right, Marco, for their reclining chairs.
Exactly. So, Lazy Boys, you may hear it, but the real word for it is called a recliner. So, a lot of interesting pieces of furniture there. I think our house is going to look amazing. So, why don't we go back and listen to the dialogue one last time?
How about this floor lamp?
Fine, just get it. We have been shopping for furniture for 5 hours. I'm so tired.
We still need to find an armoire and a dresser.
Fine. I'm going to go home and drop off this nightstand, coffee table, and love seat while you look for the rest of the things.
Great. Pick me up in about an hour, because I think I'll also get a beanbag and a dining set.
While you're at it, can you pick up a nice recliner? I really want one so I can watch TV.
Recliner? In my beautifully decorated living room? I don't think so.
All right, we're back. So, talking about furniture, it's very interesting. How do you take it home? What do you do? And in this case, they were transporting it themselves. And the guy said, I'm going to go home and drop off this nightstand, coffee table, and love seat. So, to drop off.
Okay, this is a great verb, to drop off. It's a verbal phrase. So the preposition there is off, not on.
Right.
So I could say, for example, Marco, I'm just going to drop off my bag at home and then I'll meet you guys for dinner. That means I'm going to go to my house and put down my bag and then I'll leave. So to drop off is basically to go somewhere so you can put something in that place. But it doesn't mean that you're going to go to that place and stay there.
Right. So if I say I'm going to drop off the kids at school, that means I'm going to take the kids and leave them at school and then go away.
It doesn't mean you're going to school yourself.
Right, exactly.
So can you drop off the laundry at the dry cleaners, please?
Very good. So I'm going to take the laundry to the dry cleaners, leave it there, and then go somewhere else.
So what happens at 3 o'clock when the kids are still at school?
That's right. Now we use the opposite verbal phrase, and that is to pick up.
Okay, drop off, pick up.
So you go pick up the kids, you go pick up the laundry.
So this isn't just about picking something up from a table or the ground. You can actually use your car to pick something up.
Right. You go and retrieve it.
So I'm going to the post office to pick up my package.
Very good. So phrases that you're going to have to use if you're talking about furniture, if you're talking about buying something. And while we're on the topic, I know that one of the most popular places to buy furniture is IKEA. Are you a big fan of IKEA?
I like IKEA, and I love what they've done for people who don't want to spend too much money on furniture.
Furniture is expensive.
Furniture is very expensive. You can spend $5,000 on a sofa.
Yeah.
And so IKEA is a wonderful brand and I think a wonderful company because it makes good-looking furniture affordable.
And it's because you put it together yourself, right?
That's right. A lot of things you have to assemble or put together by yourself. So you buy it in a box and then you make it. And it's a little bit frustrating sometimes. But for people like me, and I'm sure people like you, it's part of the fun is putting stuff together.
Yeah, because you kind of feel like you kind of built it, but you really didn't. So it kind of gives you that false sense of accomplishment.
It's like I'm in the 19th century and I can make my own furniture.
So it's very popular. I've actually, and apart from having great furniture, I understand that they have amazing meatballs.
They do. Well, I'm a Swedish. I never get to eat Swedish meatballs, and here in China, they do have some of the better meatballs around. So I would recommend if you haven't tried them, try them. They're pretty good.
Yeah, go to IKEA.
Go to IKEA, have some dinner. Let me know. Our website is englishpod.com. Do you like IKEA and do you love their meatballs?
All right, we'll see you guys there.
Bye.
Bye. The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
A tall lamp with a base that stands on the floor. Floor lamp. A large wardrobe or cabinet. Armoire. A set of shelves usually used for holding clothes. Dresser. A small table or stand placed at a bedside. Nightstand. Small sofa that seats 2 people. Love seat. An armchair that can be reclined. Recliner. During the time you are there. While you are at it.
Let's try that faster.
A large wardrobe or cabinet. Armoire. An armchair that can be reclined. Recliner. During the time you are there. While you are at it. Small sofa that seats 2 people. Love seat. A set of shelves usually used for holding clothes. Dresser. A tall lamp with a base that stands on the floor. Floor lamp. A small table or stand placed at a bedside. Nightstand.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Armoire. My sister prefers armoires to dressers because she can see everything at once. Armoire. My room doesn't have a closet, so I use an armoire instead. Armoire. He gazed longingly at the antique armoire with its carved wood and faded paintings, but he only had $50 in his pocket. Dresser. Please make sure you put your clothes away in your dresser. Dresser. He took some change out of the piggy bank on his dresser. Dresser. I opened up the dresser door and hid my diary underneath the clothes. Love seat. My parents have a wooden love seat on their front porch. Love seat. Love seats are much cozier than couches. Love seat. I curled up next to my husband on the love seat. While you are at it. While you're at it, can you take the clothes out of the dryer? While you are at it. While you're at it, can you make sure the dogs have enough water in their bowl? While you are at it. Can you pick up some coffee while you're at it? Recliner. After a hard day's work, my father would always sink into his leather recliner and watch the news. Recliner. A recliner is a special chair designed so that you can sit upright or recline back with your feet up. Recliner. It wasn't until a few hours later that I discovered the chair I was sitting on was a recliner.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we have an intermediate level lesson about going to the bank.
That's right. Today we're going to go to the bank, and we need to do something there. We're not going to put money in the bank, actually. We're going to make a transfer.
Okay, so you'll learn all about this in a minute. Let's take a listen to the dialogue first.
Good morning. Welcome to Bank of the USA. How may I help you today?
Hi, I need to transfer some money to another account. It's urgent.
Okay, have you made a wire transfer at our bank before?
No, I've never made a transfer before.
It's all right. I will take you through the procedure. Are you transferring funds to a company or an individual account?
A company account. I need to pay a bill.
Okay, I'll need the name of the company and their bank routing number, as well as their bank's address and phone number.
I have all the information in this folder.
Well, you've come prepared. I have all the necessary materials, so we can go ahead and make the transfer right now. It's a simple transaction, and we can process it today.
Oh, that's such a relief. I didn't want the payment to be overdue. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
All right, we're back. So, interesting dialogue, very common situation. We need to transfer money to another account. So, we have some very interesting vocab words right there. Why don't we take a look at those on Language Takeaway?
Language takeaway.
So, Marco, the first word is one that you've already said a couple of times in today's lesson. It is to transfer.
Okay, that's right. We need to transfer money. So, to transfer, what does this verb mean?
So to transfer means to move from one place to another. In the case of money, you're moving money from one bank to another bank or from one account to another account. So just think of transferring as moving.
That's right. But the bank teller also mentioned something about a wire transfer. So that's basically the same thing, right?
That's right. So when you're talking about money, you don't actually take a bag of money and you don't walk to another bank to put it in the account. A wire transfer means that the transfer is electronic. One bank tells another bank that you're going to exchange this money. Mm-hmm. So it's going to move from one person to another person or from one company to another company. But it's never actually the money itself. It's always just the number of funds in the account.
That's right. Okay. So a wire transfer, to transfer money electronically from one account to another. And talking about this word account, we're talking about a bank account. What is this?
Well, this is really important even if you're not making a wire transfer or if you're not working at a bank. This is something that most people have for their personal use. Mm-hmm. So an account is a space for money in a bank that's kind of registered to one person or one company. Mm-hmm. And there are many, many different kinds of accounts.
That's right. Many of you probably have a savings account. This is where you keep your money to save for the future. Or many companies or people have a checking account or a default account where basically you put money in, but you're also taking money out and paying for bills and paying to go to the movies, etc.
Yeah, so these different accounts have different rules. They have rules about how much money you can keep in them or how much money you need to open them. Mm-hmm. So the basic word here is account. And just remember that companies and people can all have accounts at a bank.
That's right. Okay, so when talking about an account, we're talking about transferring money to another account. We don't say we want to transfer money. We say we want to transfer funds.
Funds. So funds, we usually say in the plural, funds with an S. Mm-hmm. This means money. So we're talking about transferring funds from one company to another. Or I could say, I need to deposit funds in my account.
That's right. Now, an interesting word because funds with an S at the end, that's a plural noun, as you said. But if we use it in the singular, it could also be a verb, to fund.
That's right. And that means to pay for something or someone. So my grandfather funded my college education. He paid money for my college education.
That's right. Okay, so both words, either the verb or the noun, have to do with money. And when we're talking about transferring money, we're talking about a type of transaction, right? Where a bank transfer or a wire transfer is a type of transaction.
That's right. So a transaction is a noun, and it's something that you do at a bank, for example, usually involving the exchange of money. Mm-hmm. So a wire transfer is a kind of transaction. But also depositing or putting money into my savings account is also a kind of transaction.
That's right. So a transaction is kind of like a business move or a business deal involving money. For example, a transaction can also be buying a car.
That's right. So the transaction is I give my money to Marco, the car salesperson, and the transaction is exchanging that money for the car.
That's right. Okay. And lastly, since we needed to pay a bill, we were worried that the bill will be overdue, and that's why we really needed to make this wire transfer.
Okay, so to be overdue is to be late. Mm-hmm. So think about due. This is the time when something has to be done by. Mm-hmm. So for example, if the bill for the electricity is due on Wednesday, but I pay it on Thursday, it's overdue.
Okay. So it not only has to do with money, it could also be something that is late. For example, if I visit my grandma after not going there for 3 months, you would say, this visit is long overdue.
That means Marco should have visited his grandmother earlier, but he didn't.
That's right. Okay, so a lot of great vocab there, all involving banks and different types of words you may find when transferring funds. So why don't we listen to the dialogue again, and we'll be back in a bit with Fluency Builder.
Good morning. Welcome to Bank of the USA. How may I help you today?
Hi, I need to transfer some money to another account. It's urgent.
Okay. Have you made a wire transfer at our bank before?
No, I've never made a transfer before.
It's all right. I will take you through the procedure. Are you transferring funds to a company or an individual account?
A company account. I need to pay a bill.
Okay. I'll need the name of the company and their bank routing number, as well as their bank's address and phone number.
I have all the information in this folder.
Well, you've come prepared. I have all the necessary materials, so we can go ahead and make the transfer right now. It's a simple transaction, and we can process it today.
Oh, that's such a relief. I didn't want the payment to be overdue. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
All right, we're back. So we have 3 key phrases for you. Let's take a look at those now on Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
So our first phrase comes from something that the person at the bank told the client. That person said, it's all right. I will take you through the procedure. Okay, so let's look at this word procedure. Procedure can be many different things, but what is it in this case?
It's basically the steps or the process of taking money from the account and transferring it to another one. That's the procedure. What we have to do, all the steps. You have to fill out the paperwork, you have to sign here, and all these things.
Right, so we're talking about a wire transfer. So there is a procedure for doing a wire transfer. That means, like you say, there are steps that we have to go through to complete this action. But we can also have a medical procedure. So heart surgery has its own procedure, but that's very different from a wire transfer procedure.
That's right. But it has different steps and different things that you must do in order to operate.
But when we have a bank teller who will take us through the procedure, this means that he or she will help us understand the steps we need to complete.
That's right. So this we could also use this in another bank scenario if maybe my little brother wants to open a bank account. So I'm going to take him through the procedure of what he needs. He needs to maybe get a copy of his ID. He needs to have $20, etc. Take him through the procedure.
So you're going to help him. All right.
That's right.
And after this, we find out why the person is so anxious to transfer this money. The person says, I have a company account. I need to pay a bill. So this is why the money is going to be transferred from one place to another, to pay the bill. So this is something we say not just about, company things or business things. We say about our things at home, like the electricity bill.
That's right. And actually, this is more and more common. We pay our bills using our electronic banking services. So for example, maybe he needs to pay the electricity bill or the telephone bill, and this is why we're transferring money. So to pay a bill is to cancel the bill.
That's right. So I could say, it's time to pay the bills. It's the end of the month. Or, oh, shoot, I forgot to pay the bills again. They're going to turn my electricity off.
That's right. And now an interesting phrase here, very specific to making transfers, when we talk about bank routing number, a bank routing number.
Well, this is pretty simple, actually. If you're going to transfer money, you need to be able to tell the bank where the money will go. So you can't just say, Mr. Smith. You have to have a number for the account, and each number is unique. It's special, and it's usually very, very long.
That's right. And actually, it also has to do with what bank it is, because obviously you can't just say, oh, Bank of USA, because, maybe there are 2 banks with the same name, or maybe there's one Bank of USA in the United States and there's another one in, in Europe.
Right. So each bank will have a certain number or letter combination in the bank routing number. And so the kind of account, is it savings or is it a business account, and so on and so forth, so that you know exactly where the money will go, because you don't want to give the money to the wrong person.
That's right. Okay, so a lot of great things on this lesson. Why don't we listen to the dialogue for one last time?
Good morning. Welcome to Bank of the USA. How may I help you today?
Hi, I need to transfer some money to another account. It's urgent.
Okay. Have you made a wire transfer at our bank before?
No, I've never made a transfer before.
It's all right. I will take you through the procedure. Are you transferring funds to a company or an individual account?
A company account. I need to pay a bill.
Okay. I'll need the name of the company and their bank routing number, as well as their bank's address and phone number.
I have all the information in this folder.
Well, you've come prepared. I have all the necessary materials, so we can go ahead and make the transfer right now. It's a simple transaction, and we can process it today.
Oh, that's such a relief. I didn't want the payment to be overdue. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
So, Marco, this is really, really important stuff, even if you're not talking about the business context, but you're trying to make transactions for your personal life.
That's right. Just imagine maybe you're abroad, you're in the United States, and maybe your parents need to send you money. So maybe you need to go to the bank and receive those funds. So now you have the language and the vocab necessary to more or less talk about a bank transfer. You can say, I was wired money from Spain, for example.
Right. And one of the most famous places to do this that you'll find all over the United States is Western Union.
That's right. You can just go up to them and say, I need to transfer money or I need to transfer funds.
And so they will send the money from one Western Union to another Western Union. And then the person at home or wherever will pick up your money. And so they will wire the money from one place to another.
That's right. And I think this is how it started. Wire transferring was, I don't think it was originally with banks. I think it was something, some sort of service similar to Western Union. Or maybe Western Union
So you
started
mean it was like telegraphs?
Yeah, something like this. But I don't know if it was from bank to bank. It's an interesting story, though.
We'll have to look it up and let you know. I'm not sure of the story either, but if you're out there and you need to wire some money, now you know how to do it. Well, not how to do it, but how to talk about it.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Important. Needing immediate action. Urgent. Guide someone along the process. Take one through. A series of actions. Procedure. An occurrence in which money is transferred from one account to another. Transaction. Not paid at an expected or required time. Missing the deadline. Overdue.
Let's try that faster.
An occurrence in which money is transferred from one account to another. Transaction. Important. Needing immediate action. Urgent. Not paid at an expected or required time. Missing the deadline. Overdue. A series of actions. Procedure. Guide someone along the process. Take one through.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Urgent.
Where's Mr. Jameson? I have some urgent news for him.
Urgent.
Could you call me back as soon as you get my message? It's urgent.
Urgent.
I could tell something was wrong by the urgent tone of Lydia's voice.
Take one through.
Let me take you through the manufacturing process.
Take one through.
He took me through the steps and helped me fix my computer.
Take one through.
If you just follow my secretary, Miss Finn, she will take you through what we do at this company.
Procedure.
The company has a set manufacturing procedure that you must follow.
Procedure.
We check the quality of our products through a complicated procedure. This is how we make sure our products are safe.
Procedure.
There was not really a procedure, so we just did what we wanted.
Transaction.
The transaction with the bank went smoothly.
Transaction.
If you come prepared, it will really help speed up the transaction.
Transaction.
You can go online and see all the transactions you made with your credit card.
Overdue.
He wouldn't accept my paper because it was overdue.
Overdue.
You are charged $1 every day that your library books are overdue.
Overdue.
Manny always forgets to pay his bills, so many of them are overdue.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we're talking all about cars in this intermediate level lesson.
That's right. We have a little bit of problems with our car, and we're going to talk about some possible solutions to these car problems we have. So why don't we just listen to the dialogue today? We have no words on vocabulary preview, so let's jump right into the dialogue and listen for the first time.
Car Trouble Center, how may I help you?
My car won't start. Stupid old car.
Hold on. Before you kick your car, let's go through some possible problems.
Fine.
Okay, first of all, can you turn the key in the ignition?
Yeah, I'm here with my friend, and he thinks it may be the spark plug or the starter motor.
Those are possible problems, but tell me, when you turn the key, do you hear the starter motor crank?
Yeah, it sounds like it usually does when I start the car, but nothing else happens. The engine won't start. Should I maybe press the accelerator?
No. If you step on the accelerator pedal, you can flood the carburetor and your car will never start.
So what do you think it is?
I know this may seem like a silly question, but does your car have gasoline?
Yeah. Right. I got the car started. Thanks for your help. I told you to fill the tank.
Okay, so this dialogue reminds me a lot of a radio show in America called Car Talk. And the hosts of the show, like Marco and I today, they talk about how to solve problems and they ask you questions to find out what the problem is. So it's a really helpful show, but let's take a look at some of the phrases and words that you heard so we can understand what exactly is going on here.
Language takeaway.
All right, so today on Language Takeaway, we have 5 words, and they're all very specific to the car. So why don't we start with the first word? It's a noun, and we are talking about the ignition.
Ignition. The ignition is the first step to The ignition is a part of the first step to starting a car. Basically, under the wheel of the car, the steering wheel, there's usually a silver hole where you can put the key in. This is the ignition. It starts the car.
Exactly. So you put the key in the ignition and you can start the car. And to start the car means to turn it on, to get it going.
That's right. And so ignition is the first step, starting the ignition.
Okay. So moving on to our next word, we have a word that's formed by two different parts. A spark plug. A spark plug.
Spark plug. So a spark plug is an electrical object. Basically, this has to do with electricity and the way that the car gets energy.
So it's called a spark plug because it creates a spark, which is a brief burst of current. So this basically creates a small spark of electricity, and this makes the gasoline ignite. So that's what makes the car go.
Right. So energy is taken from the battery to start a small fire, basically. So which then starts the engine. Spark plug. It's a very small but very important part of a car.
Very good. And moving on, we have the starter motor.
Okay, to be very honest with you, I'm not a car person, so I'm not sure what the starter motor is. Maybe you can explain this to us, Marco.
Okay. So basically your car runs on gasoline, right? So you put your key into the ignition and you turn it, right? This in turn sends energy to this little motor called a starter motor. And that basically gets the car going by means of an electrical current before the gasoline ignites. So it's like a little electrical motor that makes the spark plug ignite and causes some of the mechanical parts like the pistons move within the car, and then it turns on.
Okay, so again, this is all about the beginning of when we turn the key in the ignition, what happens. This is a starter motor. So once we've turned the car on, we've turned the key in the ignition, we have to worry about giving the car gas. So we can control gas with the accelerator pedal.
So by saying you want to give the car gas is you want to give it more energy, more power, or less energy, right?
Right. So if I want to go very fast, I push my foot down on the accelerator, and the further down it goes, the faster I move.
Exactly. So that's the accelerator. Now, the opposite of making the car go would make the car stop, and those are called
brakes.
Brakes. Okay.
So on the left, we have a brake pedal, and on the right, we have an accelerator pedal.
Very good. Okay, and talking about acceleration and gas, we have a very specific mechanical object, and that's called a carburetor.
Okay, again, carburetor. I know that this is under the hood of my car, but I'm not sure what it does. Let's talk about this.
All right, so it's not very common to have a carburetor anymore in new cars, but basically it's a small device that controls the flow of gasoline from the gas tank to the engine. And basically what it does, it makes the gasoline into a type of very thin mist. And that's what that way the gasoline can ignite easier. So the further down you push your foot on the accelerator, the wider the little gap or the hole will open on the carburetor, and that way your car will go faster.
All right, very good. So that's all we've got for language takeaway today, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a second with Fluency Builder.
Car Trouble Center, how may I help you?
My car won't start. Stupid old car.
Hold on. Before you kick your car, let's go through some possible problems.
Fine.
Okay, first of all, can you turn the key in the ignition?
Yeah, I'm here with my friend, and he thinks it may be the spark plug or the starter motor.
Those are possible problems, but tell me, when you turn the key, do you hear the starter motor crank?
Yeah, it sounds like it usually does when I start the car, but nothing else happens. The engine won't start. Should I maybe press the accelerator?
No. If you step on the accelerator pedal, you can flood the carburetor and your car will never start.
So what do you think it is?
I know this may seem like a silly question, but does your car have gasoline?
Yeah. Right. I got the car started. Thanks for your help. I told you to fill the tank.
All right, we're back. So now why don't we take a look at 4 key phrases that we have for you on Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
Okay, this first phrase. So you heard the phrase at the beginning, car trouble center. But Car Trouble Center, that's maybe the name of a fake company that we use. But the phrase car trouble is very, very common.
So if you say, I'm having car trouble or I had some car trouble, what does that mean?
That means my car broke.
Okay. So
But you don't say my car broke. This is one thing that can't break because normally you say I'm having trouble or I'm having car trouble because a part of my car is not working.
Okay. So instead of saying I'm having problems with my car or my car broke, you just say I had car trouble or I'm having car trouble.
That's right. So this is a really good excuse for coming to work late. You can say, oh, I'm so sorry. I was having car trouble this morning.
Right. So any type of problems with your car can be considered car trouble. Flat tire, no battery, etc.
Etc. Yes.
Okay. Now moving on, we have a very interesting verb here. We heard when the guy was talking about the starter motor, he said, do you hear the starter motor crank?
Okay, to crank. So this is a very interesting verb. It can also be a noun. It's a sound. Okay, but it's also a movement. So when something turns around in a circle, dunk, 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 maybe you think of a metal wheel, dunk, dunk, that's a crank. So sometimes we talk about those old cars, 1910s, 1920s, the first Ford cars. You had to crank them in the front. You had to actually turn with your hand a wheel to make the car start.
Right.
So this is a crank.
Exactly. You can hear this in your car. Maybe if your car doesn't have gasoline, you hear the tick, 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 tick. That's the starter motor cranking.
So it's going around in circles trying to create energy.
Exactly. And now when the guy was talking about the accelerator and he was talking about the carburetor, he said, no, don't step on that pedal because you can flood the carburetor. So to flood.
Okay. To flood. This is a verb. Maybe you've heard the word flood before as a noun, but this means to fill something with liquid, with gasoline, with water, with milk. So to flood something is to fill it up with a liquid.
Okay, very good. So you can flood a dam, for example, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Or in this case, you can flood a carburetor, which means it won't work because it's all wet.
Okay, very good. And the last phrase that we have very handy when you're talking about cars is to fill the tank.
Okay, this is always a problem at my house because I hate to fill the tank.
Really?
And so, whenever my car's in the driveway and someone in my family asks if they can borrow it, I say, yeah, sure. And then obviously an hour later they come back and say, why don't you ever fill the tank? It's empty. You have no gas. And I say, well, I hate to fill the car with gas. And so I always have an empty tank, so I never fill the tank.
Okay, so that's what it means. To fill the tank is to have it full of gasoline.
Right, to put gasoline into your gasoline tank.
Okay, very good. Why don't we go back and listen to the dialogue for the last time, and we'll be back to talk a little bit more.
Car Trouble Center, how may I help you?
My car won't start. Stupid old car.
Hold on. Before you kick your car, let's go through some possible problems.
Fine.
Okay, first of all, can you turn the key in the ignition?
Yeah, I'm here with my friend, and he thinks it may be the spark plug or the starter motor.
Those are possible problems, but tell me, when you turn the key, do you hear the starter motor crank?
Yeah, it sounds like it usually does when I start the car, but nothing else happens. The engine won't start. Should I maybe press the accelerator?
No. If you step on the accelerator pedal, you can flood the carburetor and your car will never start.
So what do you think it is?
I know this may seem like a silly question, but does your car have gasoline?
Yeah. Right. I got the car started. Thanks for your help. I told you to fill the tank.
All right, we're back. So talking about cars and car trouble, I understand, for example, in some countries, when you're getting a driver's license, you're forced or obliged to learn a little bit of car mechanics. You have to learn about the engine or how to change a tire and basic things like this.
That's a brilliant idea. In America, you don't have to know how to fix your car. you have to know how to pay someone to fix your car. But basically, we only learn the rules of the road, so the signs and the basic rules.
Really?
Yeah, but I think it would be very helpful to know how to fix a tire or how to change the oil in your car. I mean, is this a requirement in Ecuador?
Yeah.
Really?
When you're getting your driver's permit, your driver's license, you have to take a course which shows you the mechanics of the car, first aid course, and also basic road rules and all that stuff. But basically, because it can be something very simple, like for example, they show you where the battery is, where you can check the oil, and basic things like this. So maybe the little cable from the battery just came loose, and that's why your car won't start.
Yeah.
So instead of you waiting for 2 hours until somebody comes and picks you up, or a tow truck, you can just check very briefly basic things that can maybe go wrong in your car, and you can just go on your way.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
had my dad for that.
You would
My
tell
dad
your
said, I'm not going to have a little girl who doesn't know how to change a tire or who doesn't know how to check the oil levels. So, yeah, but not everybody has a parent who will teach them.
Right. No, and it's very handy because, for example, you get a flat tire, and sometimes, cars can be a little bit tricky. The wheel nuts are sometimes covered by a plastic cover, so
Yeah.
you don't know how to take it off. There's a special tool for that. Or the jack. Sometimes the jack is not the normal one that you have to like pump up
Yeah.
and down. It's a little one that you have to turn a lever and you have to do this. So it's very, very useful to know these things.
Absolutely. I'm curious to know if our listeners out there have experience with cars and car mechanics. And if you have this rule, like Marco says they have in Ecuador, about learning about cars before you actually get your driver's license.
Yeah.
Let us know on our website, englishpod.com. We hope to see you there.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Bye. The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Look at something in a careful way. Go through. A device to start up the car. Ignition. Electrical device that ignites the gas by electric. Spark plug. An electric motor for starting an engine. Starter motor. To start an engine, motor, etc. Crank. The device which helps cars get running. Engine. A pedal that controls the throttle valve. Accelerator. Mixes air with gasoline vapor prior to explosion. Carburetor.
Let's try that faster.
An electric motor for starting an engine. Starter motor. A pedal that controls the throttle valve. Accelerator. Look at something in a careful way. Go through. A device to start up the car. Ignition. To start an engine, motor, etc. Crank. Electrical device that ignites the gas by electric. Spark plug. The device which helps cars get running. Engine. Mixes air with gasoline vapor prior to explosion. Carburetor.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Ignition. He turned the key in the ignition and the truck roared to life. Ignition. His new car has a keyless ignition system. Ignition. I put the keys into the boat's ignition switch and turned it on. Spark plug. The mechanic took a look at my car and said that the spark plug needed to be replaced. Spark plug. Tens of thousands of volts travel down the spark plug to ignite the fuel. Spark plug. I checked everything, including the spark plug, and there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with your car. Starter motor. The motor turned the crank, which started the machine. Starter motor. The starter motor in my car is defective. Starter motor. I ripped the cord on the boat's motor and started to travel across the lake. Crank. In the olden days, people had to manually crank the engine for the car to start. Crank. Nowadays, a motor cranks the engine in order to start the car. Crank. This time, the starter motor finally cranked when I turned the key. Engine. Can you start the engine about 5 minutes before we're supposed to leave? Engine. The engine sputtered and then it died. Engine. I can hear my engine straining in its old age.